Joining me this morning is Missy Knowles from the Food Bank. Missy, you are the food sourcing manager over at the Food Bank. Thanks so much for being here.
Yep, thank you.
I think a lot of one thing people know is that you guys are famous for the food drives that you put on, and you know, obviously thanked for that. But what people don't know is that they can actually host their own food drives. Tell us how this works.
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So we encourage the community to be engaged by hosting a food drive. There's a few other ways they can do that, but we can be as formal or informal as anyone would like to be. We offer barrels if you think your food drive will be that large, some signage, things like that. Or you can be very informal and use your own containers and let us know when you're ready for pickup. We've got some great ideas for folks to try to raise more awareness and food, so we can provide you with some information on that.
Awesome. So you guys, you know, you're helping people get started with the food drive. But for people who don't know, what kind of stuff do you guys take? Because you don't take perishable items, but almost all non-perishables, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So we can continue to use things beyond use by dates pretty often. But generally speaking, we like to have things within the year of the code date. But we can use all sorts of items. Ideally, we really appreciate canned protein items, so tuna fish and chicken, but also things like macaroni and cheese, canned fruits, canned vegetables are really popular with the backpack program and kids.
Yeah, so if you don't have any use for those non-perishables anymore, obviously the food bank is more than willing to take them. And also, you guys are reaching out to hunters because you know, you guys are willing to take venison. How does that work with hunters and deer?
So hunters can donate all or any part of their venison by a couple of really simple steps. So they would just need to make sure it's legally tagged and then properly field dressed, and they would connect with any one of the approved processors. You can find those on our website, and then the processor will handle things. They'll let us know when they've got the venison to pick up, and we'll get it out to folks in need.
And I'm just reading this stat here. If you guys got one out of every 100 deer that was killed, that would be 100,000 pounds for the food bank. So it makes a huge difference.
Yeah, absolutely, and folks really enjoy it. I think we've done some surveys in the past, and in some communities they prefer that to even ground beef. So it's really exciting, and it's a great time of year for that kind of thing, just to raise awareness. You can even donate just a couple of pounds of your deer. You don't have to donate the whole thing.
And hunting is obviously huge here in the southern tier, and so is also apple picking. What's the deal with you guys taking on the apples?
So we've been very fortunate over the last couple years to build some great relationships with both Reisinger's Apple Country in Watkins and Stony Ridge Orchard here in Erin, not too far down the road. And so what they do is each season that they've had any excess apples left on the trees, they've allowed us and volunteers to go up and glean those apples. So we've got, hopefully, it sounds like the weather might prohibit it this afternoon, but we've got a shift from 3 to 6 at Stony Ridge this afternoon, and we'll just go up and pick the apples that are left on the tree and get them to folks in need.
Awesome. Missy, thank you so much for being here. I appreciate the time.
Thanks.
We'll post all this information on our Facebook page, I should say, after the show.